Do you ever feel like you're too much in your head or that you're overthinking everything? I have yet to meet a person who doesn't have some experience of that. I totally get it. I am someone who teaches embodiment, preaches embodiment, and is often very stuck in my head. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you really the downside of being too much in your head, and even for you to see if that's you. I'm also going to be sharing what it means to get into your body and really the benefits of being in your body, and how that's different from just operating from your mind only. And I will finish up with a practice. It's really three steps, but it could be three separate practices that you can apply right now to reconnect to your body and to your inner wisdom. So I look forward to sharing this. See you in a minute. So, our brains are amazing, and we are also more than our brains. So, obviously, they can be useful to process information, they can put action plans together. We can actually rewire them to really support us as well. I'm not going to be talking about that too much today, but I'm actually going to be sharing with you a little bit why it's actually more effective and more efficient to do this sort of rewiring through your body, which will result in new thinking. But I'll touch on that in a moment. So, what are the downsides to being too much in your head? And maybe how do you know if you are too much in your head? And how might you want to shift this so that you can be connected to something other than just your brain to figure out the solution? So what happens when we're in our head too much is that we often are very much in looping the same information over and over again without coming to a solution. So again, if you are using your brain, you're inputting information, you're getting a solution, you're moving forward and acting and it's working well, fantastic. And so that's a good use of your brain. But if you are in this pattern or a pattern at some point when your information is looping over and over and over and you can't quite come to a solution, what happens is you end up being very frustrated. You don't make this desired change, you don't get the solution, but then you'll go back to your head to try to figure out why things aren't working or why you can't figure out the solution, right? And so again, all human and very normal and very it's so what we are almost taught to do really in our whole life experience. I was a teacher for probably 10 years. And because I'm experiential and I'm kinesthetic, I would try to weave in as much of that as possible into my teaching. This was a while ago. And so this was probably now, yeah, 15, 20 years ago, right? So things obviously may be shifting in schools now, but there was a lot of intellectual pursuits, right? You memorize this, you regurgitate this, you read this, and you answer these questions. So very much in our head. Now, as adults, we are in front of computers so much. We're actually overstimulated, and so our brains are almost always on high alert and almost in overdrive. I learned even recently how powerful it can be with all of the different stimulations that we can have going on for our brain. I had a concussion and I developed post-concussion syndrome, which is just a prolonged case really of all the symptoms. And what I really could see was things like being on a computer. I could barely be on there for very long because of all the stimulation that was required. And even now, it's been 5+ years, driving is actually still challenging for me because there's so many things happening at once and there's a lot for the brain to take in. So it's really, we are wired this way. We are trained this way to overuse our head. So it's not really our fault, but I do want to hopefully inspire you to reconnect with your body and be reacquainted with your body and understand that it can feel so much more powerful, more grounded, and more aligned for you. So we also sometimes when we're in our head too often, it causes us to be very outwardly focused because we're seeking and searching information. So it's often very much what are they doing? What do they think? why can't I do what they're doing? Or why can't I have what they're having? Because your brain is just sort of seeking and inputting this information and kind of coming up with this sort of end result. And so often it's like a seeking mechanism, right? And so we're often looking outside of ourselves. And so, of course, sometimes that's really good. It's really good to look outside of ourselves and know what we want to create. But ultimately, we don't want to be too outwardly focused because A, you don't really create from that place, and B, it doesn't feel very good, right? When you're pulled outside of yourself and focus on only things outside of you, on some level, you're going to feel empty or disconnected and ungrounded for sure. We can often have an internal tape, as I said, a loop that's being replayed. And sometimes it's trying to figure out a solution. Sometimes it's a negative loop and it takes us into a negative spiral. And it can take us a while, first of all, to figure out that we're actually stuck in that. If you understand a little bit about neurology and neural pathways and neural grooves, you can actually be grooving. It's like you keep falling into the same groove over and over again, and you don't even notice that you're actually in it for a while. So a lot of time can be wasted being in that without even noticing. And then to shift it, sometimes to shift our mind with our mind, unless you have a lot of practice with that, it can take a while, and often it's not effective, right? I mean, it can be, but it often takes a while. And so I'll share with you why the body is a much more efficient way to do that. And the other thing is we can be in our mind so much around, let's say, what it is that we want to create, what we want to call in, what we want to manifest, whatever you want to say. And so we can be affirming lots of things on a mental level. So I am going to create this, I am calling this in, I am, right? We can be very in our head around this. But if our body and if our nervous system and if our energy doesn't actually align with that, or it's vibrating something different, this is actually where you're going to attract from, not from your brain. So really, we definitely want to connect them both. And again, I'm not saying the head is not good and the brain is not good. But today I really want to offer you a different focus so that you can connect and understand your body and how powerful that is. And then use that to feed information back to your brain and then let your brain do what it's meant to do. So first of all, what it means to get into your body and the benefits really of doing this. So I'm going to be sharing a few videos in this series because I love the body and embodiment. And I could, there were so many topics I could throw into this today, but I didn't want to be too overwhelming. So there will be some different videos around how when you embody your beliefs and your energy, you actually can create from that place. I will be sharing a whole bunch of embodiment practices that I have in this on my YouTube channel that you can play around with and dive into so that you can connect with your body. But today, I just really want to have you reconnect with your body and just tune into it a little bit and understand the power of it. So really, we can move energy, first of all, through our bodies. And that is so important to understand because emotions are energy. Experiences turn into energy. Everything is ultimately energy and it can get stuck in our body, right? It really can. And you'll know this because if I'm going to give you a couple examples, but if you think about a time when someone maybe said something to you and it felt like a punch in the gut, or you can feel yourself when you're walking into a big meeting or in front of an important client and you start to shrink, or someone says something that makes you so mad and you can feel it stuck in your jaw, right? So it doesn't, if we don't, and often we don't allow these negative, no emotions are negative, we need to feel them all, but we will label them as negative. And so we often won't even allow ourselves to feel those emotions or energies or actually process them out of our bodies. And I'm not going to talk to you too much about that today, but just know really that most of us don't do that. And even if you do it, sometimes you probably don't do it all the time. And so these emotional experiences end up as blocks in your energy. And so we can actually move this energy super quick, right? And this is why I love energy, because we don't have to analyze it and go back into the story and he did this and she said that and whatever it is. We can actually just move it out of our physical body. And so that is going to feel so much better because those energies are heavy, they're dense. When things are blocked, we feel constricted, we feel tight. So when you move energy through your body, you're going to feel lighter and better. Your body is also, I'm going to be introducing this idea of tuning into your body and being able to listen to your body, what it needs, and the messages that it's sharing with you, because our body is so wise. It is wiser than the brain, I believe. So when I'm talking about your body itself, I just really want you to understand all of the components. So first of all, your body is made up of lots of things. So muscles, cells, organs, bones, tissues, lots of stuff, right? Blood, all those things. And specifically your muscles and your cells and your organs actually can, this whole energy that gets stuck in our body can be absorbed. This is where it's absorbed, right? It's sucked up into your muscles and into your cells. And again, you're going to know this because you'll feel tight in your chest, or you'll feel butterflies in your stomach, or you'll feel like you're vibrating, like you have too much nervous energy or something like that, right? And that is coming from your body. Your soul also resides here. So I'm not going to go into too much around this today. There will be other videos on that, but we can really access our soul wisdom. Your emotional body lives here. So again, all of the things that have happened that feel emotional to you are in your body. The thought of them is in your head, but the emotions actually live in your body. And often we can shift a thought, but not an emotion. And so it's really important to understand that the emotions live here. And your nervous system is also in your body. And a lot of people sometimes think that just our subconscious mind, it's all this brain thing, but your subconscious is also in your body and in your nervous system, right? And so there's so many things that we can access and shift quickly by going into our body and not doing this through our heads. And so I will say, yes, when you change your mindset and you shift that, that can actually impact your physiology. Absolutely. It's just most people can't do that well. Most people can actually get into their body and shift their body, and that is what's going to effect change in your thoughts. So it's definitely more efficient. And so this is the reason I think it's so powerful, and that there's such a benefit to it. Because as I said, you can spend a lot of time in your mind, not know that you're stuck in your mind, try to fix the problem with your mind, and not get any results, and not even realize you're doing it for a very long time. So when you're in your body and you shift the energy in your body, you actually are going to shift your thoughts, perspectives, and beliefs and you're going to be generating more expansive ones. And so I will tell you, like I've done, thousands of coaching sessions with people, and sometimes people come in and they're very in their head and they want to kind of do that heady kind of stuff. And so obviously I'm going to meet people where they're at. But if I have a choice, I will always, if they want me to lead it, I'm always going to go into their body first. But what ends up happening with them in their head, at some point, if we do the whole session in the head, it feels good on a mental level, but it doesn't feel transformational. It will never be like, oh my God, that was an amazing session. They'll never say that. They'll get some answers maybe that they wanted to have, or they will figure some things out, so it's all good. But the sessions where people are like blown away, or they've had this big transformation, or when we go into their bodies, because when we go into the bodies, we get these answers so quickly, and they're really lined up, and we know on a deep level that they're true. So, so I just wanted to share that piece because I've seen it so many times. And a lot of times we just don't even know that we're in our mind, like I said, and we're not in our bodies. And so it does take a little bit of practice. So just a couple more benefits to it, just again, so that you understand why you want to spend just a few minutes doing this. And then I'm going to finish up with a little exercise for you to do. So you are going to connect and create a deeper connection to yourself and your own wisdom. You will get more intuitive hits, more insights, and your internal yeses or nos will start to show up for you, your internal guidance system. And ultimately, no one outside of ourselves is going to give us the answers we need. We have all of the answers we need within us. Yes, we will get support from other people who are experts in different areas, absolutely. But our inner guidance system is often very underused. And when you start to learn to connect to your body and go into your energy and feel your feelings and all those things, you will begin to develop this, it is more than a sixth sense. I'm going to say it's a sixth sense and a seventh sense, right? You're really going to be tapping in to an internal guidance system that is fully in support of you and gives you the answers you need. It will lead to embodiment. And as I said, everything I'm talking about here is embodiment, but I'm going to do a whole separate video on what it means when you actually embody your value, embody your worth, embody beliefs at a different level and how that impacts your external world. But I will leave that for now. But really, embodiment is like wearing or holding the energy of what you're wanting and radiating it out into the world and magnetizing it versus thinking about what you want and trying to get it, right? So that is the beauty and the power of embodiment, because ultimately you feel it, you will feel connected to yourself, and other people will feel that as well. So if you're embodying a sense of confidence or a strong sense of self or belief in yourself and what you're sharing in the world, people will feel that and be drawn to it. Your presence becomes very powerful even without words. So again, I will dive into that in another video at greater length. So I hope there's some piece of this that has landed with you. So I'm giving you just a bunch of different things that I've seen, that I've experienced myself, that hopefully will give you a reason. Again, the mind often needs a reason or proof or something to buy into something. And so it's why I'm sort of starting with a mental today and to have you get on board with this. And so I just want you to take a moment now, if you're able to, and I'm just going to take you through, it's a very simple 3-step process for you to reconnect with your body. So if you're able to close your eyes, do that. Take a couple of deep breaths just to center yourself, get comfortable. This will be under 5 minutes, so just so that your mind can get on board with this. So first of all, I'm going to have you nod your chin to your throat. This is one of the easiest, quickest ways for you to drop out of your head and get into your body, into your heart, into yourself. Just that chin nod will let the brain almost know that it's okay to take a break and you're going to be reconnected to your body. For some of you, you may want to have a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly, whatever feels good for you. Touching your body is very helpful to help you reconnect with it. And then just right now, taking 5 breaths that are equal in length on the inhale and the exhale. If you can do counts of 4, great. If that feels like too much, that's okay. But right now, the inhale and the exhale are equal length. So just go ahead and do that. In and out. In and out. Again, eyes are closed. In and out. And again, one more time. In and out. So you can stay here. As I said, these all build. If you have no time and it feels like you just want a moment to reconnect, this simple exercise, by touching your body, by nodding your chin and slowing down your breath and balancing out your breath, is going to help you reconnect. So if you have 0 time in your day, but you know you are in your head too much, go ahead with this. Let's go deeper. So now, keeping the eyes closed, keeping the hands on the body wherever it feels good for you, keeping your breath nicely balanced with the inhale and exhale, just start to tune in to your body. So just notice any feelings of tension, of tightness, maybe lightness, butterflies, anything that you are aware of in your physical body. Notice where they're located and spend a few minutes focusing on that area while you're continuing to breathe. So if you're noticing tightness in your shoulders, focus on that area as you are breathing in and out. You can almost even imagine that you're breathing in and out through your shoulders. I know that's not possible, but we can intend that. If it's in your solar plexus, right, maybe you feel some tightness or tension or butterflies or anxiousness, You can breathe and notice and focus on this area, wherever it is, tightness in the chest, tightness in the jaw, headache, low back. Maybe you feel amazing and you feel really light. You can also focus on that area. It's going to expand. So as you're doing this, let's just do 5 more breaths, focusing on this one area for right now. Or you can move around to a couple if you'd like. And you might notice that it may intensify, those feelings may intensify. And if so, continue breathing as I'm talking here. Continue focusing and allowing yourself to feel this intensification and not shut it down. And so for some of you, it also may dissipate, right? Depending on how intense it is or how much it is. So just spending this few moments here today, tuning into your body. And part 3 is now communicating with your body. Ask that part of your body or the feeling, whatever it is, tightness or tension, what is it that it wants you to know? It has a message for you, I guarantee it. It might be something like, I feel really, I'm upset, right? Or release some tension. It might be something like, I'm tired. Our guidance, any inner guidance we get or wisdom we get, is often very concise and not a lot of story to it. So it might be something like, I'm stressed out, right? It might be letting you know it feels like too much pressure. You need a break. You need to say something to someone, whatever it is, just take a moment to tune into that part of your body and listen to what it says. What do you need? What are you trying to tell me? Okay, we don't have to be complicated with this. What would you like me to know? And listen. And most importantly, act on any guidance received. So you may receive, you need a vacation, and your mind may be like, I don't have time for that. I don't have money for that, whatever it is. But what is it that the vacation, right? There's it basically is some version of a break. And so how can you give yourself a break right now? Can you get up from your desk? Can you walk around? Can you get outside? Can you take a few breaths? Can you go buy a tea? Whatever it is. Maybe it's like you need to release, my body feels, release tension in your body. You might be getting that message. I will often get that message because really just understand body tension and head tension are very connected, right? So if you're stressed out or tense around lots of things going on in your mind, that's actually going to be reflected in your body. And as I mentioned, if you can release that tension in your body, it will actually shift the chemistry and the thought patterns that are happening in your brain. So that could be something like, I'm going to just move my body around a little bit. I'm going to just take a few breaths and soften my body. Maybe you're going to book some body work. Maybe you're going to have a bath or listen to some music. Maybe it's some time in nature. So just really allowing this wisdom to come through for you. So just take another minute here. I know I've been talking a lot and I want to give you just a couple minutes to do this without me talking, although you can just stop this or pause it. But tune in, notice the tension, breathe into it, ask it what it needs. Listen to it. And ultimately capture it and act on it. Because again, often our mind will want to, you can open your eyes if you'd like, or you can stay with your eyes closed as I finish this up. But often our mind makes things really big and is trying to find very specific solutions to things. And it won't understand, but that walk in nature that is going to relax your body and reconnect you with yourself, or that listening to the tight shoulders and the going for the massage that you've been wanting to go for is actually going to be what opens up some creativity for you. It's going to be what opens up some flow. It's often going to offer the solution to the problem that had you tense in the first place. So just again, take a moment. If you're not back with your eyes open, do that. Just feel grounded in your chair. Maybe be grateful, say thank you to your body. We can often be very hard on our bodies, not even for many reasons, right? Some people are hard on their physical, what they look like, and we can be have negative message to our own bodies. For me, I've been injured so many times in my athletic life, and I can be very upset with my body sometimes because it takes a long time for it to heal, or I'm accident prone or whatever it is, and I can be not very kind in some ways on a mental level. So be kind to your body, be thankful for it, for all that it does, and trust that it is like genie in a bottle. It is it is your wisest self. It really is. Wisdom doesn't come from our head, right? Wisdom is not a brain thing. Wisdom comes from experience, embodiment, all these things. Knowledge, yes, but that's not wisdom, right? And so really understanding that you have your own access to your own internal guidance system that will always lead you in the right way. And your body is a first step to that. And as always, you could do something physical, right? Just get into your body. We sit way too much. So go for a walk, dance, work out, shake out your energy. There's lots of things that you can do. And I have so many videos on my channel that are going to support this. And they're all in the guided meditations and energy shifts playlist. So that's one that's down a little bit below wherever this one is. And I'll draw your attention to a couple, and I will put the links to those in the description for you. So if you want to calm your nervous system and you want to call in a new energy that feels really good for you, you can try the powerful I Am breathwork video. It's a guided practice of breathwork and visualization. It's really powerful. If you have some uncomfortable feelings that you want to shift, this is one of my favorite techniques. The video is called Shift Energy Quickly. And again, it's really where you just kind of go into your body, feel what you feel, energetically pull it out. Again, without having to analyze it and figure it all out, just get it out of your body, or transmute it really. If you're wanting to become more magnetic with your energy and with your body, understanding that your body is sort of what you show to the world, is what carries your energy. You can try the personal power meditation, and there's a whole series around core connection and personal power, amping up your personal power. So lots around that. And one of my most recent videos uses a technique called tapping, which again is an energetic embodied clearing technique, really, that allows you to connect, literally tap into the wisdom of your body and move the energy through your body and your nervous system. And it's specifically on being seen and being successful. So if that is what you're looking for, more visibility, more success, more embodiment of your power, then that's a great one for you to take a look at. And as I said, I will be following up with a whole another content piece around the power of embodiment in terms of creating your external results. But I think next week I'm going to do one more really cool practice. So you can stay tuned for that. It's really an introduction to quantum flow, and it's a very powerful embodiment technique. So just in this moment, I'm feeling drawn to share that as my next offering. So take a look for that. So have a fantastic week. Take a little bit of time to try this. Try it once a day, twice a day, whatever you like. Any of these steps, right? Nodding chin to throat, touching your body, breath. Like you have no excuse, right? I'm always saying that to you, but there's no reason not to reconnect, right? If you're feeling too mental and in your head, do this. Tune into your body, notice, give it a little bit of focus in the tension and the tightness, breathe into it, right? Just really focus on that part of the body and then have a conversation with it. And so there's so many ways you can do this, but I've given it to you in just a kind of an easy 3-step formula. So yeah, be kind to your body this week, be grateful for your body this week, and really take the opportunity to benefit from its wisdom and guidance. So have a wonderful week. Subscribe if you have not already. I would love to have you continue along with me. And I will see you in next week's video. Take care.